What's up everyone, welcome back to another video with the Millennial Finance. For the second time in about 6 months, the Malaysia government has presented the 2023 budget. This is going to be another record year in terms of Malaysia's budget with a 17% increase compared to last year. If only I could up my budget by 17% every year as well, that would be great. Anyway, today I'll go through how this budget impacts us Malaysians with a focus on an individual level.
Cha-ching.
Firstly, there will be some changes to taxes, and the first one that I'll be talking about is the changes to income tax. This was the first thing that caught my eye because these changes generally impact nearly every single Malaysian. Basically, the taxable amount for incomes between 35,000 ringgit and 100,000 ringgit a year has been reduced by 2 percentage points, targeting the M40, which is a large group in Malaysia. I don't have the data for this, but I believe that the largest chunk of the Malaysian workforce falls into this group. I'm not saying the M40 group, but the group that earns between 35,000 and 100,000 ringgit every single year. This should result in a tax savings of up to 1,300 ringgit if you earn the maximum 100,000 ringgit annually. No complaints here of course, as it'll mean additional income straight into our pockets. To sort of balance this out, the government is then revising the tax rates for those who earn above 100,000 ringgit a year by 0.5% to 2%. For those of you who do fall into this category, there's a bit of a misconception and worry about how this is unfair, especially for those of you who earn just above 100,000 ringgit. To clear things up, taxes in Malaysia, like in many other countries, work in a tiered manner. Looking back at this table, if I earned 110,000 ringgit a year, it doesn't mean that I now pay 25% on the entire amount instead of just 19% if I earned 100,000 ringgit. You only pay the new tier rate for any income above 100,000 ringgit, so in this instance, you will only pay 25% on the extra 10,000 ringgit that you earned. So to sum things up, most Malaysians should benefit from this even if you earn just above 100,000 ringgit. This is unless you earn maybe above 200,000 ringgit a year, then maybe you will be paying more in taxes. Another change on taxes that will be made is that they will start to implement a luxury goods tax. This means that consumers will now have to pay an additional tax when buying high-valued items that are not deemed to be necessary or essential to our day-to-day lives. There's still a lot of clarity that needs to be released on this end though, because I don't think the details have come out. Some people may think that this is unfair. Maybe you saved up a lot of money just to buy a luxury item because it's something that you really want. In my opinion though, this is a progressive tax and it is another way for the government to earn more income because it generally aims high income earners who have the extra cash to buy these kind of items. As the average Malaysian who won't necessarily buy luxury goods every single month, this shouldn't have a big impact on us. The final topic on taxes that I will cover is the incoming capital gains tax. This has been talked about a lot in recent years, and of course I have been keeping an eye on it because it will impact investors like us who do have money in the stock market. Currently, the only capital gains tax that Malaysians have to pay is on real estate. It looks like things are now starting to take a turn though, as the Malaysian government has indicated that stocks will be subject to capital gains tax. A positive note for us though is that they will be starting off slow. When this initially gets implemented, it will only apply to stocks that are unlisted, meaning they're not listed on the Bursa market, and it's more for internal restructuring or private sales of shares. I don't know about you guys, but I have no business in dealing with things like this, so it shouldn't really impact me. However, this does look like the start of what will eventually become a capital gains tax on all profits made from shares down the line. This of course isn't confirmed by the government at all. They did mention that they will start this at very low amount, but like I said, this seems like baby steps to what will eventually become capital gains tax across all shares. Next up, I'll be talking about financial aid given to the various groups in Malaysia. I don't think that I will personally be eligible for any of this, but for some of you watching this video, you might be. Firstly, there will be a Rahmah Catch Aid targeting the B40, which should be a nice injection of cash for them. While I don't think that one-off handouts are a good solution for the long term, it will at least help with their immediate needs. Next, youths aged between 18 and 20 years old will again receive a one-off injection into their e-wallet of choice. I've mentioned this before, but I'm not really sure why this initiative is necessary. If the objective is to boost adoption of e-wallets among Malaysians, then technically, why do you need to target the youth because those guys are going to have e-wallets anyway? wouldn't it be better to target the older guys who may not want to have an e-wallet? Maybe it's just me being salty with the realization that I am no longer a youth. On the other end of the spectrum though, EPF members aged between 40 and 55 years old with less than 10,000 ringgit in their EPF accounts will get a one-off injection of 500 ringgit. This amount will go to the EPF accounts to sort of top it up instead of in the form of cash. This is due to concerns of a big bunch of Malaysians not having much in their EPF, especially those who are getting closer to retirement age. Many Malaysians probably withdrew a large amount of cash when the Malaysian government allowed EPF withdrawals over the last 2 years. While I think that this 500 ringgit cash injection into EPF accounts is a band-aid solution, it's at least in my opinion a better solution than allowing more EPF withdrawals. Yes, I know it is your money and maybe you want to spend it now because you never know what's going to happen down the line, or you really just need that extra bit of cash. However, if the country starts to have a huge retired population who do not have enough savings to support themselves, then eventually that will become a problem that impacts all Malaysians because we will have to fund them through taxes. It is unfortunate though that many Malaysians do not have even above 10,000 ringgit in their EPF accounts, and maybe some of them really needed that extra money, especially over the last 2 years. However, if you are a young Malaysian, if you are a millennial or a Gen Z and you don't need the extra cash, then I highly discourage withdrawing from EPF if the government ever allows it again down the line. This is after all savings for our retirement. It is good to start planning from early because then when you're older, you will have a nice nest egg, and the 5% returns that EPF give at almost no risk is almost too good to be true, but it is. Finally, there are a few other items on Budget 2023 that does impact us Malaysians on an individual level. For one, there's a Menu Rahmah which was announced earlier, which is basically 5 ringgit meals provided by restaurants nationwide, targeting those who are looking for a cheap alternative to good meals. On PTPTN, there will be a 20% discount on all payments, but this will only be for a period of 3 months starting 1st of March 2023. I'm not sure exactly how this will work because, for example, I have my PTPTN payments set on auto debit, but I think how it will work is that they will probably just add 20% to however much I pay every single month. Those earning below 1,800 ringgit a month will also be able to defer their payments for PTPTN, which can be extremely helpful for young fresh grads who maybe didn't start off with very high income. Moving on, public transport passes will continue helping many Malaysians, especially those living in the city, get around with cheaper alternatives. If public transport isn't really your thing, there will also be a waiver of driving test fees for B2 motorcycle, taxis, bus, and e-hailing drivers. This should help Malaysians who want to get around with a cheaper option like a bike, or for those Malaysians who are looking for a secondary source of income by becoming an e-hailing driver. So, those are the key benefits that will impact us Malaysians from Budget 2023. Some of us may benefit from this, while others may not. At the end of the day, I'm happy paying my fair share of taxes and not taking too many benefits as long as the taxes we pay is put to good use. I haven't done enough research and honestly, I'm not even smart enough to know whether our taxes in this case is being used wisely for Budget 2023, but I really do hope so. Let us know down in the comments below what is the biggest standout from Budget 2023 in your opinion. Thanks for watching this video to the end guys, give us a huge thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.